it's one of those things that I would have never thought that I can buy something very expensive on a Tuesday
And
and
it's
not and be totally fine.
and you don't sweat it. It doesn't affect your lifestyle, and you know that you're gonna go out on the weekend and recoup whatever you spent.
Do you know why I didn't buy that Porsche? And it's why I haven't bought a Porsche yet.
Why?
Because I get spooked by things. And I remember I was out the country again, having a good time, and David Arnold texted me on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, I thought I had your number in my phone. This is my number. Call me." And I was like, "Well, I call him when I get back, from vacation."
Yeah.
Knowing better than that, knowing I should just call right then because I know I get spooked. Then I got back and David Arnold had passed. And he had just, I literally saw him on Instagram. He had just bought this beautiful burgundy Porsche. And in the middle of he's celebrating his victory, I'm gonna go buy this Porsche, woo, woo, woo. And then he passed. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm not going to get no Porsche. I'm cool. And it's just because I'm spooked.
Yeah, it freaks you out.
It's one of those things.
It makes sense.
Not to throw nothing out there. If somebody would have sent me your video right before I went on vacation, I would never be in this. I was like, no, not doing it. Yeah, something's about to happen.
For people that don't know, you just had surgery last week for
broken ribs and a separated clavicle. They had to put my shoulder back together.
And the activity you were doing?
Surfing.
Now, was this a first time?
No.
You've been surfing before?
Yeah, I surfed before. I was done, and I was walking out.
And by the way, it's always when you're done. I was done too, dude. I was done. I was like, I'm good. And they're like, you got it. Do one more. That's how that shit happens.
Done. I'm walking out. My son says, he's right in front of me. My son said, Dad, look. This is how big the wave was. I turned around and I was like, oh, okay, that's the wave. I couldn't even get nowhere. And it just crashed down on me and slammed me into the sand, right? So my arm, I never would have thought that I would have got road rat.
That's from a wave crashing on
This
you.
is the sand. It's sand blasted my arm. And I've gotten color back now. It was so pink. It was crazy. So they had to open up my whole shoulder to put it back. And they had this thing called My Chart where they send you your stuff. My doctor looked older on there, so I trusted him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, yo, he's done this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Doctor. I didn't really see him. He said I met him before surgery, but the anesthesiologists, they are very sneaky people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, can you count backwards from 10? I was like 10, and I never even thought of 9.
Yeah.
9,
yeah. It's amazing.
It never came into my mind. Yeah. 9. So I met him, I guess, during that time. And when he walked in, he said, man, hey. The first thing he said, this is why I knew he was too hip. He was like, yo, love your Travis Scotts. Do you want to know what I did to you? I'm like, wait a minute. He's a sneakerhead? I'm like, no, I don't need a sneakerhead doctor. So he's telling me all the stuff that he had to do.
Who do you like more, Drake, Kendrick? What you feeling right now? And you're like, what the fuck? You're 70.
But he's like a young kid.
Yeah.
He's a young dude. So he tells me all what he did. I had to put a rope and pin it and put it in a figure 8, and then I put some cadaver
tendons.
Oh
Jesus!
And after he said all that, I said, "Was it a black cadaver?" Ali, that's some racist shit. I'm just asking. I think we heal a little different.
Yeah.
Let it be a tough white guy.
Yeah. Give me a tough white guy's shit.
Is it like Cushion? Cushion came back very fast.
Yeah. Dude, so when you got hit, you obviously know immediately you're fucked up.
Oh, it's like when the wave hit me, right? I heard it's like somebody crunched up a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my neck is definitely broke. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, my neck is definitely broken. So I tumbled, right? And the first thing in my mind is like, yo, my son is out here. So if it messed me up, it had to affect my son, right?
And how old is he?
13. I have 2, 130, 113. So I'm looking for him, and as I'm looking, I noticed that one arm is moving and one arm is not. And I'm like, Oh, I don't even want to look at it. I can't move my arm. I don't want to look at it. So I'm looking for my son. And my son is literally standing in safety, like, hey, what's going on with you, guy? Like, what's the deal? And I looked at him like, Hassan. I was like, come on. I can't move. He said, I'm running up this hill, right? I'm 50, man. Been in prison for 6 years. Been in the streets since I was 10. I'm a pretty rugged dude, man. When I came up, because you had to come up the beach, had to come up over the sand. My mom, my aunt, and my sister were in a canopy, just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my mom locked eyes. And I'm still like at least 30, 40 yards away from her.
Yeah.
We locked eyes, and I just looked at her like, and she's looking like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like 7 years old now. I need to get to, because man, I was my body was on fire. Like something was, I knew something was wrong inside.
Shock response inside of you, yeah.
But my big thing was I couldn't move my arm. So this guy's like, first of all, Mexican people are very tough. Very, very, very tough people.
Yeah.
So they didn't got me. This man took his shirt off, ripped it, and tied my arm in a thing, and they got the wheelchair, they bring it up, and he tells me, he said, hey man, this is not that bad. You're gonna be okay. I used to be a bull rider. This happens all the time. I'm like, yo, this is a different sport.
Yeah, man.
It's a whole different sport. I'm like, I don't care nothing about your bull riding expectations. Yo, bro. Then I hated that they rolled me through the resort.
Yeah.
Hey man, go around back. Take me around the back. You ain't gotta take me in front of everybody.
Yeah.
They rolled me right through the resort.
Yeah.
Everybody looking.
Full display.
People with Martinez like, what happened to you? I'm like, it's like I'm like this. No pictures. Like, yo, it was.
And did they take you straight to a hospital?
Straight to the. They had a ambulance outside, right?
Wow.
And a Cabo in Mexico, the ambulance, in Cabo, they're a little different from regular ambulance. This is like a Prius that said St. Luke's on the side. I was like, it wasn't even no ambulance person. It was just a regular person.
Yeah.
Like, he like, hospital, or whatever he said. I'm like, man, who called you? Like this, but he's legit, because it say the hospital name on the side, on the thing. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, this is an Uber, man. Like, I want medical shit.
You have no patches on or nothing.
And then did you do the operation there?
No, I did the X-rays and everything there. They didn't even know my ribs were broke there. They just was really focused on my shoulder.
Shit.
And so I get back, get X-rays, and then they said, well, you're gonna have an MRI because we need to really get into the shoulder. But just in case you don't know, I'll never forget this lady named Sandy. She said, where's most of your pain at? And I was like in my back and right up under my arm. So I was talking, I'm like, in my back and up under my arm. She was like, okay, you want to see your X-rays? I remember they never showed your X-rays. I'm 50. They never showed your X-rays growing up. Now they love plastering them in front of you.
Everybody, yeah.
And she
like screens like this too. They're like,
big screens.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you see all them black spots? I say, yeah. Those are breaks in your ribs. Like you've broken 5 and you've broken 6. I'm like, oh, okay. And your sternum is severely sprained. Like you have a really bad bruise in your sternum. And I'm like, oh, that's what that is. And I said, and I know I'm smart. I know I'm intelligent, but when you're in pain, you just say weird things.
Yeah.
I said, why is it hurting my back? And she said, the ribs kind of like wrap around like all your important things. It's like, oh, you're right.
You're right.
You're correct.
Wait, you have the sand scar here, but this shoulder is the one that's broken.
No, this is.
This is the broken.
Yeah, this is.
And then is this side sensitive too?
No, nothing.
Okay.
This side
is good.
This is my new. I had a sling that. I had the original sling, right? Their sling in Mexico was pretty good.
Yeah,
because it kind of crisscrossed and held me up. So then after the surgery, they gave me another sling, right? So I've been on the road. So all this has been happening in 3 weeks, right? So I left Mexico, came back, didn't know my ribs were broke. I flew to Salt Lake City to do Wise Guys.
Jesus.
Having no idea that my ribs are broken.
Jesus.
Come back, find out my ribs are broken. I said, well, that's the reason why I haven't been able to sleep. I get it. So then I come back, I do Omaha. I was supposed to have the surgery that week, didn't have it. Came back that Monday, had the surgery. Rested Tuesday, got on the plane to go do Atlanta Wednesday and Thursday. Then went from there to Madison, Wisconsin, Comedy and States, which was a great club.
Great club.
So good.
Spoiled, right? It's
so spoiled. So and then I came back home.
God,
then I came
dude.
here.
How's your pain right now? Like what?
Because it's probably too high now because I won't take the medication.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be on opioids. It's a thing with me. It's one of them things I get spooked. It's like I've taken I have maybe 30 pills, or 40 pills. Or something.
Where are they now?
In the backpack.
That's cool. Bring them out.
But
let's fucking see what they look like.
I only have taken like 4 this whole time. And when I was in Mexico, oh man, Mexico has
everything.
A phenomenal system.
Yeah.
Because when he came in and brought me the prescription, like you're gonna need anti-inflammatories and painkillers. Cool. I said, what did I get to fill that? He said, I'll take that. Be right back. Just walked out and came right back with the medication.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's incredible.
Oh, okay.
You can just walk in and be like, I want this. And they're like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was taking that for a little bit. And then I was like, nah, I'm cool on these pills, man. So I just, after the surgery, I've taken maybe 2 pills after the surgery. And 2 pills before. I can't do it.
That's I think that's better off, man.
I had
unless you're in excruciating pain.
A nerve blocker.
Uh-huh.
This was the scariest experience because my arm was totally dead. Like they just shut my arm off.
Yeah.
All the nerves, right? They do a sonogram, put right in your nerve. And then I'm trying to go to the restroom. So I set my arm on my chair. I took the sling off because I'm going to take a shower. I set my chair. And I'm like, okay, it'll be fine. I tried to open the door and my arm fell off my chest, and the weight of it turned me around because I didn't want to rip nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no. I was like, man.
Freaky.
It was, the problem is I don't have any lotion on this shoulder. This bothers me so. It's like I get lotion on my shoulder. And I was in the restaurant. I came in and went to the restroom, and I'm like, yo, this is like a 7-minute trip. Like we should have been in and out. This is like 7 minutes now.
Ooh, hey Jeans, did you enjoy that highlight? Why don't you have one more click of fun around here? I don't know. Click here or here. Try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You can send it to your grandmother. You're not going to miss a moment of denim, okay? Try it out.